So, good morning and welcome to Thursday morning adapted yoga. Now, because it's adapted doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy. It just means that we've adapted it so that if you've got high blood pressure, diabetes, joint problems, back problems, slip discs, anything that you can't get, you need a little bit more help than just a normal sticking your legs above your head. So it's one of those, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy. You will today need a chair, maybe a cushion, and maybe a band. But again, you might not. It depends on how you feel. But if you've got them there, then you'll definitely need the chair. So, as I said, this is for them people with any of them worries. But for anybody else, if at any time you feel ill or sick or something doesn't feel right, then don't do it and stop. You know your body better than me. Where are we? Yes, make sure that you've got enough room around you, that you don't knock or kick or injure yourself in any way. And we're going to start off with standing with our feet in line with our hips. So using our fists if we need to. Lifting our toes up, engaging the front of the thighs, engaging the in thighs, the back thigh, the bottom. We're going to pull in the pelvic floor, but we're going to leave our abdominal one out, and we're bringing our shoulders back. We're breathing in and lifting our arms up to the ceiling, stretching the rib cage, stretching the waist, and as we breathe out through the nose, pulling everything down. Keep going while I just remember to cancel that out on my phone. So yeah, keep breathing in and out. Sorry, it was just my phone. I forgot to put do not disturb on it, which I would never get disturbed unless I'm using it, and then everybody disturbs me. So we're just bringing ourselves to this mat and this hour that we're just going to just by ourselves, just thinking about you, thinking about how you're feeling physically but also emotionally. When thoughts come into your head, as well as sort of don't worry about why you're thinking, but just think about how it makes you feel emotionally or physically. How do you clench your chest or your jaw when that thought comes into your head? How does it affect you? And we're going to do one more breath in and one more breath out. And then just breathe in, bringing ourselves back to straight. So we're going to work diagonally with our neck. We're taking our hand, placing it on the back of our head. We're going to breathe in to look up to our elbow. We're going to breathe in to look down to our shoulder. We're going to do 4 on each side, but we're going to think, how does it feel? Work with that breath. Think about what's happening in the neck, the shoulders, the arms. Here we go. then we're going to bring it back to centre and change in sides. So again, hand on the head, breathe in to look up, breathe out to look down. Thinking about the whole time how it's feeling. Close your eyes, really think about that area of the body. If it's making sure it's everywhere, how is it feeling all over the body? And then bringing it back to centre, bringing it down. Everything okay? Lovely. So we're going to do a diagonal forward bend. Now, if you've got a slip disc, then you have to be extremely careful with this one, because this is usually how you cause the slip disc, by going down diagonally to the side. So if you need to, you're going to use a chair. If you don't have a slip disc, you don't need the chair, then you don't have to use the chair. But I'm going to use the chair, imagining that I've got a slip disc. So we're turning our foot out to the side. One foot's facing forward, one foot's facing back. I'm just going to change that camera. So we're turning the foot out towards the chair. We're turning our body round, trying to make sure that it's our hips that go. From here, we're tucking our chin in and we're moving down the body. Now, if you've got a slip disc, you're moving down very slow. You may be able to only get, without pain, to the back of the chair. And if you do, you stay there. So you're going to hold it for 3 breaths. Now, blood pressure, remember your blood pressure is going to rise. So when we're coming back up, we're going to breathe in and we're going to tuck our chin in if you're right down at the bottom, and breathe in and roll up slowly. Lovely. Same when you're coming back up out of it, if you've got a slip disc. And then we're moving from the hips back to the centre, bringing the foot back as well. So we're changing size. So we're turning the foot out, we're moving from the hips to bring them round. If you can go down without a slip disc, you tuck the chin in, you roll down. If you've got a slip disc, you keep that back straight. You can take your legs, hands down a little further if they can. But it's all about having a nice straight back, keeping this area straight. We don't want it twisting, because that's the problem. You also don't want them back legs to roll in. You want to make sure that you're pushing down through the outside edge of the foot. So again, you're either going to curl up, or you're going to pull the shoulders back and breathe in. And again, keeping that back straight, being conscious of that lower spine. Bring the feet back to centre. So let's do it one more time. So if you've got a bad back, stick with the way I've just shown you. Here we go. Turning from the hips, tuck the chin, breathe out, let the body roll down. Keep the the foot pulling backwards, the hip pulling back. Oh, sorry, the hip square, sorry. And then we're tucking the chin, we're rolling up. And bringing it back, and let's change size. So again, turning it out, tuck the chin in, rolling down, making sure the hands go either side of the foot, that you don't roll down, they don't come to one side. Beautiful. Now, if your hands are on the floor and your fingers are stopping you, make sure that you release your fingers so that they go downwards. Because if you're stopping yourself with your fingers, then your body won't relax down. The fingers will stop you. So you've got to kind of let the fingers turn towards your toes to the back of the room. Like that, the back of the hands are dropping to the floor. I know, it's a bit scary. Because the body goes, oh, she's letting go, I can go further. So we're going to roll back up again. And then bring it round. So yeah, you're trying to get the fingers to kind of go under so that they drop down, so it kind of ends up going to the back of the hand. So we're going to go backwards. Now this for people with, I'll do the arms first. So it's the same foot movement, but we're bringing the hands into a different position. So for people with slip disc, this is actually quite good for you, but again, be careful. So we're turning the foot out again and turning the hips round. We're placing one hand on our bum and the hand in line with the leg. We're placing that on our head and we're looking into the crook of our elbow. Again, we're going to try and do 3 breaths, but if you've got to come out, you come out. So it's right there, your elbow's on your head. Glenys, your hand's on your head, so it's on your forehead there. That's it. And you're going to look into your elbow. Now turn your head forward. Glenys. So, put your hand right on the front of your head like that. So it's like you've got, so that when you turn, it's sticking out, but it's right on your head. And that's better, that's it. And then you're going to breathe in, lift the elbow up, and push the hips forward, but you're looking into the elbow. You're not letting the head drop back. It's just the elbow that's moving up, but you should still not feel any stretch in the neck at the front or any pinching at the back of that neck. That's it. And then breathing out, we're coming back up. And again, the elbow should end up in line with the foot, the same direction. Bring that foot in. Let's turn to the other side. So again, pulling them hips round, placing the hand on the hips, hand in the head, breathe in, lift the elbow, push the hips forward, let the body go backwards. And then we're breathing out, we're coming back up again. Let's try one more time on each side. So this time if you wanted, you could let go. Instead of having it on the bum, you could let the hands go. So again, it's that kind of scary thing. The same way when we move the fingers, the body will want to drop. It'll do the same when you go backwards. So be careful. If you want, keep that hand on your bum. You don't have to let it go. So here we go. Hips go forward. The elbow lifts. We're breathing in. Lovely. And it'll feel as if gravity is doing all the work. Every time you breathe out, it's as if you want to roll back a little bit more. But it's the body, not the neck. So again, it doesn't matter how far you go back, it shouldn't feel any strain on the neck at the front or the back. And then we're breathing out to come back up. Now make sure if you feel a bit dizzy when you're going backwards that you take your time. Just make sure you feel okay before you move to the next one. So again, hand on the head, push the hips, breathe in. Lovely. And remember, anytime you feel a bit dizzy, you can always put that hand back on the hip, on the bum, and it'll just stabilise you a bit more. And again, we're breathing out to come back up. And bringing ourselves back round. We okay? Lovely. So, caterpillar. Now this is a continuous movement. I'm going to show the feet and then I'll bring it back up to my upper body. Oh, done the wrong way. Me and technology. So with the feet, you're taking the feet out to the side and you're bending the knees. The hips going backwards, the shoulders and elbows are pulling back. You're bringing yourself down to the floor. Now, if you've got a slip disc, you're going to just tiny little curl up, not too much. As you get to the top, you're pushing out, pulling the shoulders back, dropping the arms. And again, if you've got blood pressure problems, you keep the head up. If you haven't, you can let it go down. So you're pulling up. So that's if you've got slip disc and blood pressure problems. If you haven't, you can take it down, let the head drop, and curl so that your shoulder blades are pulling apart. As you get to the top, you pull the shoulders back. You're breathing out, going down. Breathing in, coming up. So think about what's happening with your body. Keep moving, keep moving. Good. And make sure that you're using them knees as well. And this is starting to get the spine to start moving a little bit more. But we're starting to feel it into them thighs, into the shoulders and the chest. And it should be nice and fluid. So it doesn't matter if it's not completely right, as long as you feel that the knee joint, the hip joint, the shoulders, the chest are getting a little bit of a movement. The spine feels as if it gets a bit of a movement. And then we're going to bring it back up. Lovely. So where am I? Reshape. Now with this, I'm bringing in my chair again. Again, only if you've got a slip disc. If you haven't, it doesn't matter. I'm going to turn the chair the other way. So with this, we're taking them feet wide. We're going to the side, we're pulling in. Again, if you need to, you can bring it to the chair. So instead of going to your leg, if the twist is too much for that spine, then you're bringing it to the chair. You don't have to lift the arm up. You can have the elbow back. To the chair, bring the elbow back. When we go through the legs, you can drop the head down, keep the shoulders in. So I'm going to do it that way for 2. And then I'll swap over and do it the full version. Okay, so I'm going to bring the thing down. Oh no, I can leave it where it is for now. So, we're taking them legs wide. We're lifting the arms up. The feet are pointing forward. We're taking the arms out in line with our shoulders. We're going to start with our left hand, and we're bringing our left hand down towards our right leg, and we can lift the arm up or we can look back. We're going across to the other side. We're bringing our hands to both legs, and as we breathe out, we're dropping our head between our legs, giving ourselves a pull. Then we're breathing in, we can bend the knees and lift ourselves back up. So we're going to the other side. So we're starting with that left hand, we're bringing it across to the other side. Looking up. Breathing out. We're moving across to the other side. Perfect. As we breathe out, we're dropping our hands down, dropping our head, giving a pull. And breathing in, bend them knees, lift back up. So I'm changing it now, so I'm coming into a normal version. So here we go, one more time. Start with the left hand first, breathe out, bring it across the body, lift up. Breathe out, changing sides. Breathe out, pull through the legs. Breathe out, lift up. You don't have to bend the knees if you don't want to. Last one, let's change sides. Going across. Feel it stretch on the inside of the thighs. And across to the other side. And pull through the legs. Lift the body up. Lovely. Bring them arms down. Perfect. So keeping the feet where they are. Just going to spin the camera. So we're keeping them the same distance, but this time instead of having them facing forward, we're going to turn them out. From here, you're going to bend the knee and bring yourself down to one side. Now you want to make sure that your knee doesn't go over the top of your foot. If it does, take it wider or take that back foot wider. But you don't want to lean on it. You want to just stay upright. So come upright a bit more. So from there, that's it. Then you're bringing it back. Then you're bending the other knee. So again, you don't want the body to move, you just want the knees to move. So you want to keep nice and straight. That's better. And we're going to bring it back to the centre and take it over the other side. And bring it up and over the other side. So we're pushing, but we're keeping, I'm going to turn sideways, we're keeping our body nice and straight. So come back to the centre and push over the other side. But we're keeping that body nice and straight. We're coming back up and we're bending to the other side, but we're not going forward, we're not leaning over. Come back up, take it over. And back up, take it over. So with this, we're starting again to work them thighs. We're stretching them knees. You'll also feel it when you bend this side, the stretch through the front of the leg on the other side. Let's do 2 more. And our last one. And bring it back up. Walk your feet in. So with this, you're from there, you're in and bringing the feet in. And with that, you work the knees and the calves at the same time. So we're going to take it into sun salutation. Now, you can do the sun salutation on the floor or you can do it from a chair. It's however you wish. I'm going to do the first one on the chair. I'm going to kick the chair out of the way and do the second one from the floor. You choose your way of doing it. It's up to you. So if you're starting with the chair, make sure it's in front of you and it's something that's not going to move. Bring yourself and stand just in front. Bring yourself into mountain. So lifting up them toes, engaging the thighs, squeeze the legs together. Pull the pelvic floor in. Pull the abdominal muscles in. Bring the shoulders back and down. Tuck the chin in. Bring the hands together in prayer. Don't have them touching the chest, but push them together so that you feel that stretch, that pain, the tightness all the way around the body, through the chest. Close your eyes if you can. 5 breaths. Think about what you want. So we're going to breathe in, lifting up and reaching back. As we breathe out, you can bend the knees if you need to bring yourself down into a forward bend. Remember, if you've got back problems or blood pressure problems, keep the head lifted. Watch that back. We're going to straighten the legs and we're going to go into a half bend. Shoulders pull back. We're pushing the chest to the floor, trying to get straight legs and a straight back. We're going to start with our right foot. We're stepping back onto our tiptoes, pushing forward. We can lift up, bring our hands to our knees. We can lift our arms up into lunging warrior, but you don't have to. You can keep the hands down. Bring the hands back down. Step the foot back into down dog. Push the heels to the floor. Push the chest down. Keep the ears in between the hands. We're coming up onto our tiptoes and we're coming forward, shoulders back into plank. We're dropping the hips, rolling the shoulders back into cobra. Pushing back into dog. Onto your knees if you need to. We're going to lift the left foot up in the air. And you might find you can push the right foot down a bit more. Pull the left foot in towards your chest and step it out. If it doesn't go, you can always move it up with your hand a little bit more. Drop the hips, shoulders back. If you want to come up, come up. If not, then stay where you are. We're pushing back and we're stepping that back foot, that right foot in, and we're going into a forward bend on a breath out, keeping that back straight. We're going to bend the knees, lift the head, breathe in, stretch the arms up. We're going to do the other side. I'm coming to the floor. Breathe out. Again, if you need to, you can bend them knees. Breathe in into a half bend. Going back, breathe out with that left foot. Let the hips drop. If you want, come to the knees, use the hands, lift. We're taking the hands down. Breathe out as you lift up. Breathe in, come up onto the tiptoes. Breathe out, come to plank. Remember, plank's whatever you want it to be. Breathe in. Lift to cobra, to sphinx, again, whatever you need to be. Breathe out into down dog. Breathing in, lifting that right foot up, push that left foot down. Pull it in towards the chest, breathe out, and drop the hips. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out, step in, bend the knees, breathe in, lift up, reach back and breathe out. Bring the hands down into prayer. Lovely. So, you should be nice and warm now. I'll bring in this in. Yeah, well, we're going into half moon. So, if you've got a block or you want to use your chair, both of these are okay. You don't even have to actually have one for the first bit because we're not going that far. We're going to take our feet so that they're pointing out in either direction. I'm going to bring my arms up. And we're having our hands so that the thumbs are pointing up and the fingers are stretching out. From here, we're moving onto our one foot and we're having our toes on the floor. Again, I'm just going to drop it. So, we're moving up and we've got our one toe on the floor, stretching our arms out. All we're going to do from here is flex that foot. We're not going anywhere. If we feel wobbly, we can always put it down. If you need the chair, you can always have the back of the chair round by your hand, your lower hand, if you need it. And then we're going to come back up. And if you want, you can bring them arms down, give them a rest. We're going to move to the other side. So we're taking the arms back out. We're moving our weight. And we've got our toe, big toe on the floor. Stretching the arms out, tuck the chin in, pull the pelvic floor in, pull the abdominal, flex the foot. Imagine pushing the heel away. Think about tightening all the legs, the muscles in the leg that you're standing on. Trying to lift that leg a little higher if you can. If it doesn't want to go, don't worry. Try not to let the arms come round. Make sure that you're kind of pulling backwards slightly to reach out. And then we're going to come back up. And again, let them arms relax. It's a great exercise. It's working all the shoulders, all the arms, your abdominals, and then all the muscles in the legs as well. So if you want, you can bring in your chair. I see you've got your block ready. I'm going to have a chair. Now it depends on how far you want to go down, but I'm going to just go down to the chair. But you can go to a block if you prefer. We're again going to stretch out. Reach the hands out onto our toe. We're coming in. And we're bringing ourselves down to wherever we can. So we're getting our hand nice and secure. Then we're going to lift that foot a little bit higher. Now once we're secure and we've got two limbs on the floor, okay, be it your hand and your foot, but it's still two limbs. So it gives you the bit more security to be able to lift that leg. You might be able to bounce it. It doesn't have to be held, you can just kind of move it a little bit. And it's just that bouncing just lets the body go, ooh, oh, can I do that? Can I do it? Yeah, yeah. And then eventually you might be able to hold it in that position a little higher. Now we're going to come out. So we're going to imagine someone's in the roof, they've got hold of our finger, and they're going to pull us up towards the ceiling, and we're going to bounce out. Woo! Now all that wobbling, that was your core muscle, all the muscles in your stomach was saying, we've got to hold you up. And that is, so I'm going to come down. That is brilliant for your core, for your muscles to be doing, because this balancing is what we lose as we get older, and it's the reason that a lot of us have falls. And whenever you go to the doctor, the first question as you get to a certain age is, have you had any falls in the last month? And that wobbling, that shows that your muscles are working amazingly hard to make sure that you didn't fall over. And that shows that it's great that you'll have fall prevention is not something that you're going to have to worry about, because your body already knows it's got to keep you steady. That's a lovely thing to say. So never worry about wobbling. Wobbling is your body making sure it knows what it's doing. So here we go. Let's do the other side. So we're bringing our weight over. We're letting ourselves come down to wherever we want to. We're stretching the arm up. We're kicking that foot out, make sure that the foot's flexed. And again, if we want, we can bounce it if we feel we can. That's it. One side you will always find is not as good as the other. Always the way. Never worry, it's okay. Just use the arm of your chair instead. That's it. So you're not going so fast. That's it. Much better. There you go. Sometimes we think, oh, we've got to get all the way down, but we don't. And so, like I said, one side of the body will always be a little bit worse than the other, depending on how much we use it. So again, we're going to lift up and bring ourselves out. Much better. And you see, that time you're a lot more steadier, because your body, the muscles went, these are the muscles that I've got to do to get her out of this. So that's good that it's learned that. Now, you may want a band because we're going into dancer's pose. So I'm going to, again, if you need a chair, if you need something to lean against, then have that chair ready. You can make a loop in your band and then holding onto the chair, just placing your loop in. Now you don't want it round the ankle because this is, if the ankle will be more bow. We need it so that it's pulling you into a pointy toe position. And then you're grabbing as close as you can to your foot and lifting up. You want to try and turn your elbow up to the ceiling. I'm going to change the position of the camera so that you can see what my elbow's doing now. Stay still. So, when you've got it in, you're turning your hand so that your elbow's going up to the ceiling. So you need to, like I said, hold on to that chair, just so that you've got your that's it. And then lift the leg up. So you're trying to straighten, you're trying to kind of do that. So it's a tricep press that you're doing with your arm. You're trying to push it forward. And then we're going to let go of the elastic and let our foot come down. That's it. That way we haven't got to pull our arm back. So let's do the other side. So making a hook, putting our toe in, trying to get in as close as we can, turning the arm so the elbow's coming up to the ceiling, and then trying to do a tricep dip or tricep press with our arm so that we're trying to straighten our arm upwards. And then we're letting go, and it just makes it easier for us to get our arm down. So, we're going to do it one more time, but we're going to see. So again, if you've got your chair, you may want to turn the chair around so you've got the seat of the chair, and we're going to move down to the seat of the chair. So we're going to bring our foot in. Again, turn our arm round. Bring our hand up as if we're pushing out. Then with the other hand, we're going to reach down and try and place our hand on the seat of our chair. That's it. And then try again to lift that leg and push. Lovely. And then we're going to let go of the band, bring the hand down to the chair, bring our foot down, bend our knees, bring ourselves back up. Perfect. Let's try the other side. So again, making our loop, bringing our foot in, bending the elbow up, reach the hand out, breathe out, bring the hand down to the chair. Once the hand's down, push the leg up, pull the leg in, whatever you want to do. Whatever feels, ooh, yeah. And again, we're going to let go. Oh. Bring the hand in. Bend the knee. I almost dropped as well then. Let go. Lovely. So where am I going now? Oh, you'll love this. Not a lot. You're probably going to need your pillow and your chair this time. It's going to bring this camera down again, so you're going to lose my head. Now we're going into an elbow plank on the chair. Now you may need that just to cushion the chair, or you may want one under your knees just in case you fall. But with this, you're bending your knees and you're placing your elbows on the chair. Now you're going to step back 1 foot at a time. Taking the foot back, pushing the heel away, engage your thighs and squeeze your stomach muscles, and then see if you can pull the other foot away. Now don't let your shoulders drop, make sure you're pushing your shoulders out away from each other, squeezing that stomach muscle. From here, we're going to bend the knees back in, 1 foot in first, then the other foot. From there, we're going to bring ourselves up to standing straight into mountain pose. So this is kind of our relaxation out of this. We're doing it again. So here we go. Bend our knees, bring our elbows down onto the chair. Step 1 foot back, push the heel away, tighten up the stomach muscles. When we're ready, take the other foot back. Try to make sure that the bum's pushing towards the floor, but we're pushing our shoulder blades away from each other. Lovely. Oh, that's a perfect form. Beautiful. And again, we're stepping in. We're bending the knees. We're bringing ourselves up. Perfect. So we're going to take it into a side elbow plank. So similar, if we get into it the first way, the same way, then we're bringing the arm so that instead of going forward, it now comes to the side. From here, you're turning, bringing the foot to the side. Now you can stay here if you don't feel that you can take that leg back. So you've gone from here, you've brought that hand in, you've then turned that back foot over. You can stay here, or you can take the foot and the hand off. So elbows down, step the 1 foot back. Now while that 1 foot's there, if it's the left foot back, you're taking the left, so the foot that's back, it's that hand that turns inwards on the chair. So instead of being at the back of the chair, it's now to the side of the chair. The elbows come across. So instead of being here, it's gone that way. So instead of being in that position at the back of the chair, it's now gone here. So you've got that one there. That's it. That's it. So now the leg that's up here, this bent leg, as it goes, this one now goes over, and now you're standing on this one here. If you wanted, you could take the foot off. Lovely. You can take the hand off and place it on your hip, or you can lift it up in the air, whichever you prefer. This is why I was saying you might need a pillow underneath your knee just in case you come down onto the knee. It slid up. Yeah, you probably won't need, because your chair's quite puffy, whereas my chair's completely plastic. So you might need the pillow underneath. So to come out of it, we go the same way. We turn, we bring the foot in. Bringing the hand down, bringing it back. So let me try the other side. So the other side. We're taking the foot out. From here we're taking this hand and we're turning it. We're turning that right foot over. We're thinking, can we move this foot? We see if we can bring it on top. We lift the hand out. We can lift the arm up. We can take it over. We can do whatever we want with this hand in this position. To come out, we bring it back. We're taking that hand down. We're bringing the top foot in. We're twisting. And then we're stepping back in. Exactly the same way we got out. And then we're bending the knees. We're standing ourselves back up to mountain. I'm going to leave that one there. So, the next one again, you probably won't be that happy. We're going to sit ourselves down. So we're going into a crow on the chair. So you're going to sit yourself on your chair. I'll do this before we run out of time. So you're sitting on your chair. Now you're not sitting all the way back. You're kind of coming slightly forward so that you've got a gap. And then you can lean back so that you're kind of at an angle. Now you're going to pull your stomach muscles in. And this is crow. So you're bringing your hands so that they're facing up as if you're pressing into the ceiling. And then you're going to try and get your knees to come up and touch your elbows. So you're breathing out and trying to get them up. Don't worry, they won't. So you could probably try one at a time. So you're keeping your elbows where they are, but you're trying to squeeze your knees up toward your elbows. Now with this again, it's a very strange exercise, but it's working your stomach muscles and you're doing crunch. Yes! And then you can try and get it up. Now you start trying to get to the elbow, but then you try to move them a little bit higher. So they're coming up towards your shoulders. Lovely. And then bring it down. Give yourself a rest. So we're going to just do a little stretch out for the lower back and also for the legs. So from here, keeping your legs, you can take your legs apart because we're going into a forward bend. So again, if you've got blood pressure problems, you may want to keep your feet together and just let your chin come down, keep your head in line. If you can, you take the legs out and you're rolling down. Letting your body just hang forward. You can let the head move. You can let the shoulders move. You can let your upper body move. And that goes for any position you're in. So this is kind of like a child pose, but on a chair. So we're going to bring ourselves out. So we're bringing ourselves back to our centre. We're tucking our chin in and we're trying to roll up from the base of the spine. And we're going to try one more. So I'm bringing my legs together. So again, if you've got blood pressure problems, the same sort of thing. So you're breathing out, you're moving forward. You can still let them arms drop. You can still move the shoulders, move the head. Move the body. As long as that lower back's nice and straight, it isn't being bent, then you're fine. There's no pain. And again, we're lifting back up. We're just going to take a twist. So we're bringing our right leg over the top. You can bring it into eagle if you want, but you don't have to. You're taking the opposite hand round and you're giving yourself a little pull. Have a look over your shoulder. Bringing it back to centre. Change the legs. Let's do one more on each side. And then our last one. And bring it back to centre. Now we'll stay on our chair. We're going to do our Sikari breathing with an unequal breath, and we're going to pull in our lock. So quite a lot to do. So with this, I'm bringing that up 1 second. You can see me head. So with this, we're going to breathe in through the mouth. So we're doing that one where we're sticking our tongue at the top and we're breathing in. We're trying to fill the lungs, but then when we're breathing out, we're going to breathe out through our nostril. So we're breathing out down the nostril very slowly, trying to make it longer to breathe out than it was to breathe in. Now, before we breathe out, as we breathe in, we're going to try and tuck our chin back, and we're going to try and pull in our pelvic floor, but not our abdominal muscle. Because we've breathed in, we want to keep that air in. So we're going to pull in the bottom and tuck in the top. So we're going to hold it for about 6 seconds before we breathe out slowly. So I'll quickly show you. So you're breathing in. Okay, and then you start the cycle again. So that's one cycle. We're going to do 10 of those. I'll count them on my fingers, so you know what I'm like for forgetting. But if at any time you feel you have to take a couple of normal breaths in between, do that. But what I wanted to try and do is to think about these two locks, the chin lock and the pelvic lock. So you're trying to tighten up the top of the body and the bottom of the body to hold that air in, so that diffusion can happen in the lungs. All the good air can get pushed in, and all the rubbish, you're giving it that extra time to get pulled into the lungs, and then you can breathe it out and think about any part of the body that has pain or stress. And I want you to imagine it being dragged up and being dragged out as you're breathing. So here we go.